Okay, this is part 2 of our review for the retest for Unit 7. And on day 3, the two kind of special lines that we did were angle bisector and perpendicular bisector. And so we're going to talk about those as well. The two important things about the angle bisector is, again, that it originates inside of the triangle at a vertex. Again, it goes through the vertex, and it divides the angle into two congruent angles here. So it makes these two parts equal to each other. So when we start working this, here's our first problem. If angle 1 is 4x minus 10, the first thing we have to do is put this information on our triangle. This angle here is 4x minus 10, and this part here is 8x plus 50. And we know that these two parts are equal to each other. So that's our equation, 4x minus 10 equals 8x plus 50. So to solve this, I'm going to do minus 4x on both sides. And I'm going to do minus 50 on both sides. So 4x cancels here. Here I get 8x minus 4x is 4x. On this side, 50 minus 50 cancels. And here I have negative 10 and negative 60. Then divide by 4. And you get x equals negative 15. On this next problem here, this is one without algebra. Here we have that angle x is 65. I know angle 1 is 40 degrees, and they want me to find this one here, w, y, x. So they want me to find this one right here, w, y, x. That's the one they want me to find. Well, what I know is if this one is 40, this one here also has to be 40 degrees. And then these angles in this triangle right here have to add up to 180. So I'm missing this one, and I know those two, so this is just like on our first page. Add the two together, I know. Then take that and subtract from 180. And we get 75 degrees for the one we were missing. And finally, we have this problem here. Here I know angle 1 is this much, 2x plus 40. And I know this angle 2 is this much, 12x. And if it's an angle bisector, I know that those two parts are equal to each other. So this equals this. So here's my equation. 2x plus 40 equals 12x minus the 2x. And we get 40 equals 10x, so x equals 4. And our last kind is perpendicular bisectors. And just like the rest of them, there's two important things. And this one, the name almost gives it away. Perpendicular, that means it's 90 degrees, and bisector means it's divided in half. It originates inside the triangle at a vertex or outside of the triangle. Like this one is showing it's outside. It intersects a side at its midpoint. Here's the midpoint right here, forming a 90-degree angle. 90 degrees. It divides the side into two equal segments. The acute angles of the right triangle formed are complementary. Okay, so let's do a few problems with this. If I know this side is this much and this side is this much, what do we know about this part and this part? We know those two parts are equal, so that's our equation we're going to write. So I need to solve this, minus 2x. So 5x minus 2x is 3x. Add 15 on both sides, and we get 27 equals 3x, so x is 9. How do we check it? Take it and plug it into both of these here and see if they're equal to each other. Okay, here we have another perpendicular bisector. Again, it says we know this part here and we know this part here, so these two parts are equal. So we have 8x minus 63 equals 4x minus 27 minus the 4x So we have 4x, and I'm going to also add the 63 to both sides. So this is 4x, this cancels, and negative 27 plus 63, you have to do on your calculator very carefully, you get 36. Then we're going to divide both sides by 4, and we get x equals 9. Then here, it tells us that this angle here is this much. Well, if this is a straight line, and this is 90, this has to be 90 also. So, this is 90 equals this. That's our equation. Add 180, add 18 to both sides. So we get 3x equals 108, divide by 3, and you get x equals 36. How can you check it? Plug it in there and see if it's equal to 90. This time it tells us, well, we know this angle here has to be 90, because that's 90. And so now it's telling us some information inside this triangle right here. It says this is 90, because we knew that. Then this one is 3x, and this one is 8x plus 2. So these three angles add up to 180, just like we had on the first page. So 3x plus 90, so this one plus this one plus this one plus 8x plus 2 equals 180. Add your x's together, that's 11x. Then add your numbers together, this is 90 and 2, that's 92, equals 180. Subtract the 92 on both sides, so 11x equals 88, divide by 11, and you get x equals 8. How could we check it? Plug it in here and here, and make sure that it comes up so that these three added together equal 180. Alright, that's it. Make sure you study over your notes. Be sure you're ready to decide. If you look at pictures like this, and like these, to be able to tell, is that an angle bisector, an altitude, a median, be able to tell which of those are before you go to the test. Study over this, make sure you're ready for your test.